Today, I'm going to do a quick unboxing of Storm Chasers. Now, this isn't a war game, and I don't know where I'm going to put this on my various playlists, but my kids are off of school. My son just got done with some of his makeup finals, and we're going to play some games. I played some war chess with my son earlier, and now I'm going to get him and his sisters, and we're going to try Storm Chasers here. I picked this up. This was a really inexpensive copy that I picked up here, but it looked interesting. You know, I live in Joplin, which, you know, was I was not here when it happened, but it was the center of a very, very devastating tornado that took several lives back in 2011. But I lived most of my life in the Midwest, in Missouri and Kansas for most of that time, which is notorious for tornadoes. In fact, my mom and dad lost one of their houses to a tornado. And luckily I was not there. It was over Memorial Day, and I normally go over there for and spend the night. I was living in North Kansas City at the time, and I normally go over to their house. But if I had went over to their house and spent the night for the family get together the next day, I would not be here today, because that room was completely removed, and the bed that I sleep in was like 5 houses over in someone's yard. Anyway, Storm Chasers. Let's take a look at this game here and see what we have. This is from Buffalo Games here. Sorry, I'm doing a handheld because I had my all my other stuff upstairs, and I'm going to set this up and play this downstairs. So you got the rule book here. This is not a overly complex game, but it's kind of interesting mechanic to it that I think you're going to find interesting, especially for this season, for the holiday season. It's got a spinning top, you know, almost like not quite a dreidel, but kind of similar to that. You'll see that in a second here. So here's the rules. There's not a lot of text, and it's like put out in like little bubbles, so not overly complex. And it's asymmetrical in that one person plays the storms and everybody else is playing against that person, or the storms are playing against those people. And those people are playing against themselves. They're all trying to get a certain amount of, they're researching the storms, and they're trying to get their research projects finalized. So, but everybody takes a turn being the storm, and then after everybody's been the storm once, then the game's over, and see how many of the research things that you've accomplished. Sorry, I've got some little glare there, so I'm trying to overcome some of the glare. So it's only 13 pages. You know, it's not rules. Here's the different cards that you have in here. There's there's starter cards, level 1, level 2, and level 3, and these are the things you're trying to research. You need to collect those symbols, and then that's how many points I believe that there were. So if you collect these symbols, and then by doing your research, then you'll get that many points at the end of the game if you for every one of these you have completed. I thought I'd shoot this because we're going to set this up and try to play this. So let's look at the board here. I've never done a one-handed review before, but we'll see what we got going on here. So, and the components are pretty nice. I mean, this was less than $10, right? So I mean, I can't resist a game for less than $10. Sorry about the fingers there, but this is harder than it looks. Maybe I should say that. So there's your game board here, Storm Chasers. These are the research centers. So you're going to go in the middle here where the research nodes are going to be at, researching different storms. And then you're going to go back to these research sites, and then you can collect those resources. You know, it's kind of a set collection type thing, and the storms that you're researching will not leave, you know, this boundary here. So you're always going to have to go in this middle here to do stuff. This is where the tornado, you kind of spin the tornado anywhere, and we'll talk about that in a second, the tornado or the spinning top. But that's the board. It's mounted. It's nice. it's just a hex board. You've got these tokens here. These are the way you mark off the resources the research icons that you've completed. You'll mark these off on the card there. You've got dice. This is a dice game. Here's the player's dice, and then here, or the researcher's dice, and here's the storm's dice. These are, they'll let you do certain things like, move, so that's what you're trying to move to get, you move your research vehicle to get to these like research nodes or these storms, and then collect you're researching, but you're collecting those symbols, and then when you get back to the research site, you'll mark them off with this. So it's a simultaneous action too. So that's another key aspect of this game. Everybody's playing at the same time. You're rolling your dice, trying to do stuff and move around, and the storms are trying to rolling dice and trying to mess with you. And if they roll that, then they get to roll the tornado, and if they roll these, then they get to move those storms around. And if you're playing two-player, they're going to move it away from you. If you're playing multiple player, then whoever's playing the storm's got to figure out who they're going to move it away from. And these are the research vehicles. As you can see, that they're all different, and they're all chunky wood there. And these pieces, I got to open up this because these people, how am I going to do that with one hand? Well, let's see how I can do that. I have a lot of respect for people that cannot. That's not sightly at all, right? People that can, that they have to do with, without an extra hand or what have you. I have a lot of respect for that. Very, very big chunky pieces. I mean, this is wood. They come there's like a sticker or something on that, but or embossed. But those are nice thick pieces, and they're going to be in the middle there, and then they move around. When the storm rolls that symbol on its dice, then it gets to move these around. Like one is rain, one might be lightning, and one might be snow or something like that. I can't remember what the different things are, or hail maybe, but they move around, and you're moving them away from people so they can't research it, because they need to get their vehicle on top of one of these things to do their research. Then you have the cards. How am I going to do this? All right, so I could just stop the thing, right, and do an edit. I'm notorious for doing one take, a la the rope. Oh man, I might have to stop this. The Alfred Hitchcock famous movie where I don't think he actually did it in one take, but it was pretty close to being one take. If you haven't seen that movie, it's an interesting movie, and it's based in part on a true story, Leopold and Loeb, which was like people that just killed for no reason, in a very famous case. Why am I talking about all that when I should just be turning off the camera? Anyway, so while I mess with that, let's look at the storm. There's the dreidel. No, it's not the dreidel. It's the spinning top. So when you roll that symbol, you get to roll that. As long as that is rolling, first of all, you get to move this and you capture somebody. So if you move on top of somebody, you capture their vehicle. So that stays on here. And as long as that vehicle's on there and this is spinning, you can't do anything with your turn's kind of blocked. You're stuck in the storm. And so you're done for that turn or until that stops spinning. And when it stops spinning, so let's just spin it here. And if wherever it lands, so you might have to make a determination, but so it's pointing there. So then your vehicle will be dumped off there, right? So if it spins and goes all the way over the table, then your vehicle is going to be dumped off there, right? So that's the kind of interesting mechanism. It's simultaneous dice rolling, and you have the spinning top that factors in, and I mean that's kind of thematic, right? I mean, to me, it's kind of the dreidel from Christmas, so it fits with the season, but it's thematic with this game, right? And then you got your cards, and the cards are good quality, good thickness there of cards, but these are basically the things you need to research. So you only need to get 2 of those symbols locked off. So you'll have to go to this space. You'll have to go to that space to get these to get those symbols, right? And then once you get those, and then you go back to the research base, which is right there. You'll put these symbols on here for however many you get, and then you've locked in this card, and so you'll have 4 points there. And this is researching. I got them all turned over here. This is researching. I think it might be hell, maybe, or snow. This is rain. You've got all these different symbols here. And then, multiple ones are going to be worth more. And then, of course, you get to the higher level stuff, have even more symbols on it. And then you get all the way up to, some of these 10 pointers here, but you have to lock in all 3 of those symbols. Moving your vehicle around the board, landing on these and trying to research these, all while the storm is rolling and trying to, land on your vehicle, capture you in the storm or the tornado. You'll spin that, and it spins longer than that, but I just there you go. We'll just let it go there for a while. And then wherever it lands, that's where you're going to end up. And if it hits somebody, that's another thing too. If it as you're spinning the top and you knock a bunch of other vehicles out of the way, they land where they land. So if it knocks, so that might be a strategy when you're in the storm, is just to spin it to move everybody's vehicle out of the way or away from these research sites and or the storms that they're researching, and then there you have it. That's how you win the game. Anyway, I don't know what playlist this is going to go into. I have a quasi-historical. Maybe I'll go into that, or maybe I'll start a science. I have a lot of science games. I've always loved learning through games and playing science games with my kids. So maybe this will go in the science game, although there's not a lot of science there. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. I know it's off the beaten path. Took a break from my Kilroy's Key 3. I'm continuing to do that series. Hopefully have some more that week during this week and maybe next week while I'm off for a few days. But I thought I would just jump this in here because I had to do an unboxing because I got to play the doggone thing. Anyway, hey, you guys have a good one, and thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching.